Thank you. Thank you, Ridney. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So my name is Karthik. I take care of the sales engineering side of the business for data and analytics at Snowflake India. And here, thanks to Axiata Digital Labs for giving me this opportunity where I'm going to walk you through how you can accelerate your data science initiatives with Snowflake, right? Uh, any presentation doesn't start on a data science without having a quick inroads into what are the different challenges that folks at data science face. Now, I mean, these are standard ones, right? I mean, with all the data sources that are proliferating, it's all the more difficult to get the data available to the data scientists at the right time, at the right place, in the right format, and making them to understand and bring it into the contextual format that the business understands, right? And even after doing all those hard work, there are challenges putting these models into production, iterate through and get the right feature engineering in place. And finally, how do you collaborate with your analyst and the larger ecosystems of consumers who can then put these data science models to optimize business and drive out new revenue streams, right? And of course, it doesn't go without saying that the amount of time a data scientist or a data engineer works to get a model and to train it and make it production ready spends immense amount of their time to make sure that they are able to discover, collect, do the exploratory data analysis, and then finally get it ready, right? Before they can even bring about their hypothesis and start working on the models, right? And this is where Snowflake cuts down and helps to improvise on the availability of such data to the data science in a simplified platform. Now, to bring out what is Snowflake, right? Snowflake is a unique platform which was built grounds up for the cloud. It was a massively parallel processing system that is designed to work in all the three public cloud natively as a service, precisely designed to address the use cases that is being implemented across the globe. Many of the large customers around data engineering, data lake, data warehouse, data sharing, data application, and of course, the topic of interest here today, that is data science, right? At the foundation, Snowflake is a service with no maintenance, availability of resources using its elastic performance engine so that no team is scampering around to do infrastructure management, and ability to have data moved across different geographies, different regions, so that you are not logged into one location, but are able to run the same models across different business units across the globe, right? And why do we call it Snowflake as a data cloud? Of course, the platform provides you the capability to ingest, process, identify the patterns, and consume. Snowflake takes the level of data consumption to a next level, wherein we not only look at the data that resides within your organization in a centralized fashion, you are able to bring in the data from your partners, sister concerns, your group companies, all of the roaming hubs in a telco world, mix and match with the CDRs and the customer information that you may get, and start making sense out of the data. To bring the icing on the cake, Snowflake also enables the capability to bring in third-party enriched data like the likes of Dun & Bradstreet's, S&P Global Intelligence, specifically around the different industry verticals, including telco. Then there are these experience and weather source information, which allow you to enrich your data sets, apply more meaningful data on the data that you already have within your organization, and transform and build more effective and qualitative information on the models that you're developing, right? And Snowflake already has 650 live and curated data sets. And the beauty of this data cloud is you are not moving around the data from one organization to another organization, but readily querying all within the Snowflake's data cloud. And all of that using a secured and governed platform, right? That is the core of the Snowflake data cloud. Now, given the topic of interest here being the data science, how does Snowflake solve or enable data science to start driving more value, right? One of the most fundamental point is Snowflake being a cloud native as a service, a software as a service, It allows you to bring in humongous amount of data, which could be structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data all into Snowflake at the same cost as you would pay for a cloud object storage with any of the cloud providers, and make sure that you are able to bring in not only these data from the various sources that exist within the organization, but also from all your partner and third-party data sources, and ensure that different teams can work in parallel using the language of their choice, which could be SQLs, Java, Scala, or the Pythons, and make sure that you are not hampered by the resource availability. And best of the bleed is how do you enable your business team who understand data better to work with your data science in a collaborative fashion and put these data science models into production to drive outcomes across the organization as well as in the units. Having said that, Snowflake is striving towards building out the industry data sets, and one of the things that will soon come out is the telco data cloud. Snowflake is already adopted across all the major telecom providers across the globe in North America, Europe, and across APJ as well. Many of the use cases that we come across are like Snowflake is being used specifically to harmonize on the equipment and IoT data with the enriched supplier assets data and the data sharing capability that's come along. There are use cases that we see in the telco industry where telecom providers have wealth of data assets that they have accumulated over a period of time. And they are now putting those data to not only drive their business outcomes, but are also using it to monetize and get into new revenue streams. Then there is also the augmented data sets that are being put in along with the traditional data sets to enhance and bring about new advanced data models. And best of the breed is how do you make sure that you bring about data sets which probably you may not be even thinking about bringing into your landscape is now feasible to be brought in via the data marketplace with a click of a button, have it enriched, massaged, and you can explore and find out new use cases as to how you optimize and bring about efficiencies with the business units that probably were lacking these things, right? And all of that using the simple, scalable, and native cloud platform, which does not require you to manage, but focus on the data outcomes. Now, this is where Snowflake goes fundamentally, right, in enabling many of the organizations across the globe due to its simplified nature, right? You can bring in as much amount of data as you want in any format and in any latency, whether it is batch, near real time, or using any other means, right? You can use a simple SQL dialect to interface with Snowflake, or you can bring in the language of your choice and consume it with different mediums. Snowflake also enables you to to ensure that the computes are isolated for each team, which means that they are not competing against one another while finding out the relevant data sets that they are looking at. Snowflake provides you the visualization capabilities that enables analysts as well as the business owners to first start looking at the content and the structure of the data and look at the profile information to identify what are the hypotheses or the feature engineering that will be relevant for the use case and ensure that they all work collaboratively in one single platform at scale. Right? Now, with this, let me get into the next, or let me taper down one more level into how Snowflake is enabling machine learning and data science capabilities to embed an organization, right? So at the outset, let me call out, like you would come across, and this has become a very standard one, right? Again, Forrester has published this note wherein we can see the fragmentation of the machine learning platform, where it could be a multi-model where you could have a low-code or a no-code GUI with a little bit capability of AutoML already embedded, which could be cloud native, or it could be an independent software vendor, or you could have many teams using typically a coding-driven approach, which is functionally powered by a notebook or an environment-based, where people prefer to write code and extract the juice out of the information that they have. Or last but not the least is the pivot towards a citizen data scientist, where you are able to bring non-tech users to look at and prepare data, understand and come up with hypotheses, create feature engineering, and then create models which can be operationalized, right? Now, these are the three broad categories that we have come across in multiple customers as well, who are bringing in the tools of choice. And Snowflake enables and works with these three ecosystems of machine learning platforms, right? Now, fundamentally, Snowflake provides you the platform where you bring all your data in one place. Snowflake ensures that there is governance that is already baked in while the data is coming in. I mean, there is a strict role-based access control. You have column-level security and row-level security already enabled. And then Snowflake also provides native connectors for Python, Scala, and the typical programming framework that comes along with it, right? To ensure that the data is openly used and consumed by anyone and everyone with the tools of their choice. At the outset, you have the capability to enable massive feature engineering and data preparation capabilities within Snowflake using the key capabilities of Snowflake, which we'll anyway cover in the next slide. Then you can use, and we rely with our strong partnership with any of the data science tools, typically the Data Robos or the Data IQs, which supports the AutoML, the Amazon SageMaker, or the Azure MLs, or the Google platform to provide the native support, as well as ability to support the open source world, right? Where you can bring in the coding tool of your choice and pretty much interface with Snowflake, right? And to make sure that all the trainings and on the data sets that you have done have been operationalized and deployed, Snowflake enables you to deploy these models as an API endpoint and consume it via external functions capability within Snowflake, as well as you can also do an in-place inference pretty much within Snowflake by deploying them as jars, again, which I will be covering in my subsequent slide. And last but not the least is Snowflake also relies in all these partners and works in tandem to make sure that you are able to monitor, manage, and iterate through the process, making sure that any model that becomes stale is automatically brought into purview and kept up to date, right? Snowflake ensures that works tightly with the likes of Data Robo and Data IQ, where we have a partnership at an executive level as well as at the product level, where they are able to process the information and ensure that they are able to constantly monitor the model's usage, how much stale it is getting, and how do you make sure that it is getting corrected as and when new data sets arise, right? To make sure that how do I run through all these processes, let me go through a typical workflow that we come across where Snowflake is deployed along for data science use cases, right? This is a typical workflow that we see where, data scientists across the organization spend majority of the time to collect data, then utilize the tools of choice that they have to visualize and come up with explorative data analysis, data cleaning, data preparation capabilities to ensure that they have the right data sets to work on. Then they put up the feature engineering process to identify the right set of features that would be able to identify and perform the necessary outcome that would be expected out of this data science initiative, and finally put that feature engineer data sets to train and identify the right set of model which might be used, and identify the right set of model that also needs to be deployed, and have a continuous process of monitoring, right? So at the outset, Snowflake provides you the single platform where you can bring in all data. You don't have to enable a data scientist to go scampering around in a data lake or in an RDBMS or into some other streaming platform to identify the right data set and work on data engineering aspect of it, which is the time-consuming process, but rather use the data that is already available. And we ensure that we have a control on what data is available to what team, right? It's not like once the data is available in Snowflake, everybody has access. The business owners and teams can work together, collaborate, and identify the right set of data elements at the right granularity and with all sorts of anonymization put in to ensure that there is no breach of data for whatever use case, but the data science team has the right data set available to work on, right? And then, of course, you do not worry on the platform maintenance. Snowflake is a self-managed platform. All you worry about is how do you start using the data, right? You just focus on putting the data at work rather than working on how to bring my data in, who will manage the upgrades, who will manage the partitioning keys, and so on and so forth, which probably is taken care by Snowflake behind the scene. And last but not the least, you always have the compute and the scale available to you at fingertips, right? You don't have to worry about infrastructure provisioning or delays in getting the right set of tools available, right? Snowflake makes sure that it is available as and when you require it. And to make sure how these data science workflow is enabled, the different features that we have in Snowflake, like the capability to have data sets that could be procured directly from your partner organizations or from your sister companies, or have the enriched curated data set available as a live data to you as an extended database, right? You are not going to do any FTP, SFTP, or HTTP or API pulls, but you have bulk data set available directly at your fingertips. You can work on structured, semi-structured, or the unstructured data now. And then you can bring about streaming data sources as well. All of that in one place, have them curated. You can work on the data engineering aspect of it all within Snowflake due to its native capabilities of streams, task, and all. You could actually query the data that resides in a structured, semi-structured format within Snowflake, or in case if you want to go ahead and look at the data profiles or look at the data preparation activities, you can also use the external tables features. Also, there are capabilities now enabled to ensure that you are look at the visualization of such data rather than look at the stale data in a tabular format. You can keep ensuring that you are looking at the right data sets, whatever is required from a profiling standpoint, data preparation and data wrangling standpoint. All of that could be done with Snowsight, and then put that data into motion by identifying the features that are responsible for driving this outcome, making sure that you use the features of ANSI SQL views to create new features. You could use functional languages that goes beyond SQL, like you can use natively Java, Scala, and of course the Python is also coming up to extract the data or make sure that the data is made available in a consumable format for different types of models that you're building. You can start creating pipelines to interface with existing deployed models by invoking via APIs, via the external functions. And then you can keep enriching the data models by using streams and tasks, which can incrementally identify the changed data and ensure that your models are trained regularly and kept up to date, right? Last but not the least, and this is where the data science team loves Snowflake, is that you can create a whole copy of data in production within few seconds and ensure that the organization does not incur double the cost. And that is what we call as zero copy cloning, where data is immediately copied over for a particular use case. There is no actual underlying copy of data, even though it might be in multiple petabytes, but yet two teams, the production team and the data science team, can work in isolation without having any sort of conflict when working on the same set of data, right? And this is the true pillar on which we enable data science to rapidly scale and deploy models into production. Of course, all of this is run by our existing extensive set of data partners, as well as the connectivity that we provide. And again, we rely on our model management with all our partners to make sure that we are putting it into production. Now, there are a couple of things that I would like to call up specifically for Snowflake that enables you to accelerate your feature engineering with the data science team, right? Of course, we do understand that not many people are SQL savvy, and this is where Snowflake has enabled the capability called Snowpark, which allows you to write the functional code in the language of your choice, and yet deploy such code into Snowflake such that you can refer it for all sorts of ML scoring and inference, right? Now, what does that mean, right? So a typical analyst or data scientist would be used to writing code in a structured SQL language, but we want to enable the data engineers and data scientists to use the language of their choice, the data frame libraries, the way they are used to writing code, or you can use any of the citizen data science tools to pretty much interface. And Snowflake takes care of converting this code into an optimized SQL statement and ensure that that is executed in Snowflake and you get the resultant data set out, which means that you are not anymore having issues with respect to understanding the SQL dialect, but you can use your language of choice. And the other thing that we have actively promoted with the advent of massive data usages, how can you bring in data or the code to data rather than take the data out to the code? The typical way would have been that you export out the data, run your data models, data science algorithms on top of those data, and then curate the data, identify, refine it, and write it back the results, right? It was an expensive affair, and with the privacy laws coming into play, we have all sorts of issues, right? So this is where Snowflake ensures that you can deploy your code as a jar and push it into Snowflake, where code executes where the data is remaining, right? Now, last couple of slides where I'll talk about the typical data science models that have been deployed with Snowflake, right? The traditional, of course, is that you have two systems running in silos. The data science tools, pull out the data, they do the training, they do the deployment, and finally create all sorts of prediction and write back the results into the Snowflake's as a data warehouse, and they can then infer and consume the data from a productionization standpoint, right? These are the traditional way, which is kind of what we see is knocking off, right? I mean, people do not want these kind of approaches anymore. The second approach where things are getting into a more finer, refined way is, of course, the models exist outside and they are hosted as an endpoint via an API. And Snowflake can interface with them directly by passing it as an API call. In this case, the limits, the data resides as much into the platform, but are operationalized into a runtime mechanism. And the last that we are moving a lot towards is, how can you bring in the models that you have trained and embed it inside Snowflake such that there is no data movement of hops happening, but you have the data available within the platform and are able to operationalize and make it production ready from a business and analyst standpoint, right? All of that is managed and governed in a single platform, and this is where Snowflake's true collaborative initiatives comes into play, where you can bring about the collaboration between engineers, data analysts, and data scientists, all of that in one place in a secured and governed fashion, and you can bring the library of your choice to ensure that you are able to do deployment at scale, and you are able to also operate it on for your business outcomes, right? With this, I will close it out with a couple of customer stories. We have tons and tons of customers, but I can only bring out all that are publicly referenceable. We have customers across the globe, whether it is Telia or the Tele2 in Sweden or DNA, and we do have one of your larger sister concern in the Axiata group already using Snowflake for business outcomes, right? One of the use cases that Tele2 in Sweden was that they wanted to bring all of that data which were in siloed location to drive business outcomes, right? They wanted to get into pay-as-you-go pricing and ensure that data is democratized and is available to all the business users in a governed fashion, and they could drive all sorts of next generation use cases to drive new revenue streams, right? Similarly, Sonos, again, a retail customer here, but I mean, that calls out like, right, they were having very difficult process to bring all their data scientists in all in one place, one language, right? And they were getting streaming data from their 100 plus million connected devices, right? So now the whole point of having all these data in one place, which is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, was to enable the data science as well as analysts who were working on day-to-day to self-serve and are able to collaborate and need not move around the data from one platform to another platform, right? So with this, I will come to the conclusion. Snowflake is now a publicly listed company. We have more than 5,000 customers across the globe. And what we pride at is the highest level of the net promoter score that we have across the organization. So with this, I will conclude my presentation. I would like to thank the Axiata Labs for giving me this opportunity. And if there are questions, I will take it up. Otherwise, I will close it out. And thanks so much for your time.